Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Set this up. And good evening, everyone. This Thursday night, October 16th, 2025. This is Keep It in the Ring, as always, live. I'm Rich Mancuso on my YouTube channel. And you know, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and the Facebook page. Also, String Punk Entertainment and Tommy D Sports Talk. He'll join me, my esteemed host and colleague, in a few moments. And we have a lot to do. My social media handle at the bottom of the screen, as always. X, Ring786, Facebook.com on Facebook as is, and like to Keep It in the Ring page. Also on Instagram, Mancuso786, other social media outlets. Read my content, Latinosports.com, where right now I posted my feature on Danny Garcia. Is it his final farewell at the Barclays Center Saturday evening in Brooklyn? We'll get to that in a moment. And also the boxing calendar scrolled at the bottom of your screen. So welcome in, everyone. I want you to comment. Tommy D and I will get to as many comments as possible. And in this next hour ahead, and at the top of the hour, of course, 9 p.m. once again, live sports with Rich and Tom. Special guest, Howie Karpin. Tell you more about him then. You're going to want to listen in. He's a Major League Baseball expert, an official scorer with Major League Baseball as well. But let's get to the boxing, the wrestling, the MMA comment. The hour ahead, Eddie Hearn says Gerard Boots Ennis is the destined to be undefeated at 154 and the pound-for-pound best. Danny Garcia says farewell to Brooklyn. We'll get to that. And pro wrestling action. Is the Seth Rollins injury this time a swerve, or is it part of an angle to move forward with WWE as they go into the Survivor Series next month? Nostalgia coming up. Fact of the week with Tom. This is Keep It in Ring. Let's get to it. All right, so let's get to Gerard Boots Ennis. You know, headed to the pound-per-pound rankings. You saw this Saturday night. You saw how well in Philadelphia at his homecoming, and Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn says that he is destined to be the best, meaning pound-for-pound best in boxing. He's 26-year-old. He's plenty of time still to do it. The Philadelphia native, Saturday night in his hometown, once again made it easy, stopping and another deserving Usima Lima, who didn't belong in there with him. 158 of the first round. The left, the right, at the Wells Fargo Center, once again excited for their hometown hero. Ennis debuted here at 154, the former unified welterweight champion, now WBA interim junior middleweight title holder. He said he wants to move up in weight after he unifies 154. Yes, he probably could. He's the type of fighter that can obviously do that. He already did it at 147. So there's no denying he can unify 154, but who's next to stop him? Well, let's bring in my co-host, esteemed colleague. He does it all for me every week. Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Hey, Tom, welcome in again, my friend. Good to see you again live. I Keep It in the Ring. Having a hard time hearing you. Are you there?
I forgot to press the unmute button.
Well, what are you doing? What do you want to mute Rich Mancuso every week?
No, I muted myself. But it's great to be back. It's great to be back in the program. We took a little week off, but we should be back steady. I know baseball playoffs has been busy here in New York.
Crazy for me. Yeah, and it continues. Yeah. You know, Tom, Boots Ennis continues to impress. He went southpaw as well in this fight against a southpaw fighter. Used that right uppercut, the left, dropped Lima to the mat, another flurry, it was all over. You blink an eye, it was over. The right uppercut was impressive again. He did this to Stananos in Atlantic City back in April in his last fight in Atlantic City that unified, not undisputed, at 147. Said he was more comfortable at 154. Debuted there and made an impression at about, let's face it, Lima was not the guy. However, let's talk about what could be next for him. Let's put that graphic up because there was a lot of talk with him and Eddie Hearn in the ring and in the post-fight presser down in Philadelphia Saturday night. What's next for Boots Ennis? And there are many options who could be next. Let's take a look at it. Let's analyze this. Sebastian Vendura, WBC champ in the division. Baran, WBA. Milodovic, the IBF. Or Xander Zayas, the WBO champ, who Ennis said, bring them all on. But this is the guy he's calling for that he wanted first at 154. Virgil Ortiz Jr. That's the guy. That's the guy Eddie Hearn. Yeah. That's the guy Eddie Hearn wanted, and they said that De La Hoya didn't come to the phone to put it together. What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, these guys, these promoters, they're playing too much games. And I think it's a little bit of Boots Ennis as well. What I don't agree, I think Boots is the goods. I really do. But, we need to see it against top competition. And Virgil's been tied to Boots' name since 147, for the last 3 years, let's say, give or take, right? So I think the time is now. Virgil, obviously now we got to wait because Virgil's got a tough fight coming up now. He's going to fight Lubin.
Lubin, that fight scheduled for November 8th. Interim WBC junior middleweight champ. So, yeah, I mean, that's the fight the fans want to see. That's the fight Boots wants. That's the fight Eddie Hearn wants. Of course, boxing politics, Oscar De La Hoya not coming to the phone. So whoever you want to believe. Let's say he can't get Virgil Ortiz Jr. And based on his debut at 154 the other night, Ennis showed at 147 how powerful and good he could be. To be one of those top pound-for-pound fighters, which he is now, but to be the top and undisputed, that's what they want. He could very well get that. Lima wasn't the guy. But out of those 3 or 4 current champions in the division where he now is, who do you think could be next for him?
I think whoever he wants, I think he's the guy. He's one of the names of the division, even though he's just got there. Top Rank is going to do whatever they want to do. They're right now looking for a network.
Yeah.
And they're supposedly letting Xander pick whoever he wants to have a voluntary defense against anyone in Puerto Rico. So you could forget Xander for a while, right? Bakram, I think he can make a fight with Bakram.
Thanks for pronouncing that right. I botched that name up. I'm sorry.
Bakram. I think that's the easiest way. I'll struggle with his last name. But Bakram is a guy he can get to. I think Boots is one of the big names of the division, and he's with a big-time promoter. I think he can get whoever he wants. But at the end of the day, Lima obviously wasn't that guy. This was a tune-up.
Shouldn't have been in there.
And you shouldn't have a tune-up after 30 fights.
No.
But that's what he wanted. That's what Eddie wanted. Fine, it's over and done with. I don't ever want to see it again. He's got to fight somebody relevant to prove that he is the goods, because anybody can look good against a guy that you're supposed to beat. But now get in there with a guy that's, that's a name or somebody relevant, So that's all we ask from Boots, and hopefully we get that in this next fight.
I thought he'd win it easily, but I didn't think he was going to win it that easy early in the first round. 2 impressive knockdowns. The second one, of course, ended it. And also here, Tom, he said not only 154, that Eddie Hearn vouched for it as well, that he can be at 160. And can do it once he unifies 154. But I think the step to unify 154 is not going to be easy. We're talking about formidable champions in there, including Xander Zayas, who is no slouch. We know what he's capable to do, what he can do capably. And we also know that Virgil Ortiz Jr. is no slouch. And in there also is Sebastian Vendura, who as you know, I've never been impressed with him from the onset of his career, and we know his lankiness helps him a lot against opponents. Just ask Tzu about that, and Keith Thurman was referring to that. We'll get to Thurman in a moment. But what if Sebastian Vendura title defense against Boots Ennis be a fight first that fans would want to see? What are your thoughts?
I think that's a possibility, but they're avoiding guys too. Let's face it, the PBC. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're canceling fights. We're going to talk about it later with him and Thurman and how the fight got postponed, and now it's going to be an undercard of another event. Like we'll get to it when we get to it. It's not going to be a main event. And listen, they charging $75 to see Sebastian Vendura fight Keith Thurman in the main event. I mean, that's too much money. You know what I'm saying? And Sebastian Fundora, how did Keith Thurman get in the rankings, right, after one fight? So, like, I think they're trying to protect, Sebastian or anybody in the PBC brand as much as possible. So I don't think it's as easy of a fight to make for Boots. I think the easiest two fights he could make is possibly with Virgil or the winner of Virgil and Lubison, and then maybe Bachman.
Anxious to hear what the fans think about it. Do comment. Let us know. Who do you think is next for Gerard Boots Ennis at 154? And as the comments come in, Tom, read them out.
Okay.
And I'm interested to get a take from the fans to see who they would love to see Ennis fight next. It could be any one of those guys we just mentioned before Virgil Ortiz, but I have this distinct feeling, the way Eddie Hearn was talking, him and Oscar De La Hoya, or Golden Boy, have been talking. They just can't get the specifics together to put this together because it's boxing politics, as we always say.
No, I agree with you, and I think Oscar's been trying to get the fights. I mean, Virgil's trying to get the fight with Xander, but they wanted it a neutral playing field, a 50-50 fight, meaning split down the middle, fight somewhere in either Vegas or California, which I don't know if that's fair because there's a lot of, Mexican fans over there. But, but I agree with them not wanting to take the fight of Puerto Rico. I mean, but Xander, I think they're going to take a voluntary fight. They're going to try to take an easiest fight as possible.
Well, Xander loves to fight in New York at the Garden, too. I wonder if Top Rank would be willing to do that. And Xander wants the Garden. Maybe that would be their route to go. Well, we got a comment there, Tom. Why don't you read it?
So basically, this one man, L Dub Boxing, salute to you. He says, Abbas Baru is the easiest fight to make for Boots next. Boots is the WBA interim champion now. Baru is a free agent. Eddie can make that fight tomorrow. Absolutely, that is the easiest fight to make.
Yeah, and of course he's got Matchroom, and you got the pay-per-view for that too. Yeah. They can do it very easily.
The only thing I think about that is that that is the easiest fight to make. But will the fans be satisfied with that? And I think the fans. I don't think the fans would be satisfied with that. But that is the easiest fight to take. And honestly, if that fight was next for Boots, I wouldn't mind it. Get a title. Right, no. But I know the fans, they're a little harsh. A lot of fans are harsh on Boots right now, but
question. And based not so much on what he just did Saturday night, because again, Lima was just not the guy to be in the ring with Boots Ennis. We all know that. And many published that, including yours truly. Now, does Boots deserve this top pound for pound ranking now? Is he in the top 5?
I don't know where they have him right now. I don't know what Ring has. I haven't looked at the latest rankings. And I think it came out as well. I think he's a top pound for pound guy. He unified at 147. I think he passes the eye test easily.
Yeah.
I just think it's just the guy Boots has just not been fortunate to fight some of the big names. At 147, which I've said for the last 2 years, 147 is. Ever since Spence and Bud,
it became mediocre.
It's ever been.
It became a mediocre. You're right, Tom. It's a very good point. Regardless, though, we have to look at the 154 now. That division is stacked. It's heavy. It's the center of attention. Boots Ennis, of course, is making it get more attention. And you got all those great champions now holding different belts. The agenda again with Eddie Hearn and Gerard Boots Ennis is to unify that division. Got a good chance to do it and become undisputed. That word you hear a lot. The thing is, in boxing, undisputed, unified champion, very rare and difficult to do. And we know that.
It's difficult. You got 4 different titles, different champions as well. But, I agree, with L-Dub here as the easiest fight to make. I think they should go for that. Get a title now and start collecting these belts. As far as pound for pound, I'm just going to say it like this. If we look at all the guys in 154 and we look at Boots, I honestly think, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, I think Boots beats everybody there. The toughest fight for him, I believe, and I love Xander. I love Xander's eyes, but I don't think Xander would be as tough as Virgil. I think Virgil Ortiz would probably be his toughest fight at 150. Bachram, there's still more data I need to see. I know Bachram, he can hit, he can punch, but his defense is bad. He does get hit.
He's got some power in him. I've seen a couple of his fights. Yeah. I would like to see Boots fight Virgil Ortiz. And then again, I would love to see a fight with him and Fundora. That would be my choice. And if not that, Zayas, if Top Rank and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom on the Zone as well, they have the network to do it, can do it. So we'll see. But let's get back to 154 now, because the big news was Keith Thurman this week. Of course, him and Sebastian Verdura were scheduled to fight, the long-anticipated one with the two, next Saturday night, Las Vegas, Nevada, pay-per-view. Off because Fundora sustained an injury in training camp. Where we heard that before. A fighter getting hurt in training and the card is canceled. You're not even going to see the undercard. You're not going to see Foster and Shaquille Foster and
Shaquille Foster and Stephen Fulton.
Right, yeah, that's off. And so that whole card's going to be rescheduled supposedly for January. But Keith Thurman, and we know him well. He's been on the program.
Actually, I got a point. They moved it to December 6th under Roach and Pitbull Cruz.
So they did move it.
Yeah,
but you're ahead of me on that. This baseball stuff's got me away a little bit on the schedule. So it is December 6th. That's good news. In the meantime, Keith Thurman wasn't happy about this whole thing.
No,
he's been on the other side of this, so he knows how it feels. And I know he has sympathy or a little bit, or empathy, whatever you want to call it, for Sebastian Fundora getting hurt in camp. Keith, it's happened to Thurman numerous times, let's face it. But on Instagram this week, he was pretty vocal about it, and we got a clip of that. Let's play it if you didn't see it, folks, on social media.
What up, everybody? It's your man, Keith Thurman here. You already know what the deal is. We all got the news. Very unfortunate to have to deal with this postponement. Personally, I've been here before. I know the undercard boys got to be hot with this whole card being eliminated. The fight fans, many people already booked their tickets, getting ready to come out, show that love, show the support. I just want to thank everybody who's been riding with me, rocking with me, and looking forward to this event. We're not sure when the kickoff date is going to be. They will be announcing it. Rumors are January, but we're going to have to stay tuned, people. Your man One Time, still putting in the work. Got my drip in today, man. I'm still going to be grinding, moving, posting. And you already know what it is, man. Ain't nothing going to stop me from doing great things in this sport once again, man. So, Fundora, recover, boy. Ice that hand. Go see the Asian man. Go see the medicine man. Do what you got to do, baby. Acupuncture. Fix them up, all right? Get that oil change. Fix them up. Show the docs if you got them, baby. People don't believe you, son. They don't believe you. They think you running. Okay, they think you doing funny stuff in the game. You wouldn't be the first nor the last, baby. Speedy recovery to you. Let's make history happen. Don't back out of a great fight, my man. I had to ask K-Dot, how you feel about Sebastian? K-Dot, what you got to say? You got something to say, K-Dot?
I know how you work. I know just who you are.
Use a bitch. Come on. Inside your DNA. Yeah, you and your daddy a bitch. Believe that. Don't nobody believes that you want this smoke, baby. I've been him, been the fire, bringing the heat. Come on, man. Don't back out of this, baby. Fix up, heal up, and let's go to war.
Well, that's vintage Keith Thurman, Tom. He's never a loss for words.
No, he's not.
And he's serious, yet he has respect for Sebastian Fundora, and obviously he understands what happened in training because he's had the same situation. And this is a fight he wanted. Well, it's going to be rescheduled. They say January, sometime in January.
Two things. One, they said January under Pacquiao undercard. So I think Pacquiao scheduled. I think Pacquiao Romero. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's confirmed, but they said
it's not confirmed yet. No.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, they said somewhere in January, and that Thurman Fundora would be the undercard. Listen, the second thing is this: I want to see documentation too. I don't believe it. Now, I don't believe it for the simple fact is I don't.
You told me that during the week. You didn't believe it.
Yeah, we spoke about that. I think the fight wasn't doing well. I think the price of the pay-per-view, them being the main event. $75 to see them. I think that had a lot to do with it. So now being on an undercard of maybe Pacquiao would help it's a PBC thing in my opinion.
And yet, you're right, Tom. We have not seen Sebastian Vendura make a statement, really,
Nothing.
or any images of an injury at all.
I don't trust him nor his manager. So, and then the PBC, they do funny stuff as well. So that's 3 strikes right there. So,
Well, that's warrants some more talk, because there hasn't been a buzz about this injury, of what you were saying, and neither have I really checked into it further to see how serious this injury was and why they just called the fight off. We haven't seen evidence of it, and you're so right about that, Tom.
Yeah.
Good point by you. Definitely.
I could be wrong, but show me. I need to see proof.
So, it does warrant some words from Keith Thurman, one-time Thurman. We hope to get him back on the program down the line. He's a friend of ours, of Keep It in the Ring. And once we get in touch, I'm sure he'll be glad to come on. He's been doing the circuit, and there it was on Instagram what he said. So all kudos to him for speaking out. Nothing against that. So let's move on, Tom, because at 154, as you say, is a great division. On the zone over the weekend in the UK, Mackendorf outscored Dave Allen, a 12-round affair. The WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight title. The jab got him the win, 117-109, 116-110, 115-111 if you saw it. And now we move on to Saturday night here in New York, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. My column on Danny Garcia, the former welterweight champ, posted now on LatinoSports.com. The site of many illustrious moments for Danny Swift Garcia, who now has his own promotion, Swift Promotions, which he develops young and upcoming fighters, even our friend Keith Colon, who's going to be on this card Saturday night. 154, 10-rounder, the former champ. He says this is his farewell white fight in Brooklyn, where he's done so much. He's became a champion there, had some great fights, even one with Keith Thurman there at the Barclays Center. Sold out, in fact, that fight that set a gross record at Barclays with Thurman. Zab Judah encounters there, even Marquez he fought there. Daniel Gonzalez, well known in New York, got a Queensy opponent. This is the 10th fight, Tom, for Garcia at Barclays. He's had 14 title holders there he's faced, with 4 losses. Again, 1 to Thurman, Sean Porter, and Earl Spence Jr. the other. Tom, is this going to be his...
That wasn't in Brooklyn, though. He lost to Earl Spence, I think, in Texas.
Oh, well, yeah, I meant to say 4 losses, but not in Brooklyn.
Yeah. So.
But thanks for interjecting again and correcting me if I was wrong. That's why I got you, my friend. Now, the point here is, and I brought it up in my column, is this indeed going to be Danny Garcia's last fight? He says farewell to Brooklyn. How many times do we hear fighters say, that's it? Garcia's already said that a few years ago. And look, his fight against Lara at 160, he went up in that fight.
Yeah.
That was not a Danny Garcia success. It was almost a disaster. He looked like a retired old fighter that should go away. But this, he says, is his farewell to Brooklyn. Is this indeed going to be, is it, his farewell to boxing? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Rich. I mean, and I've had mixed feelings of this because, the times that I've went against Danny, he's proved me wrong. Against Matisse, I thought Matisse was going to knock Danny Garcia out. Now that wasn't in Brooklyn. I believe that was in Vegas, or somewhere in the West Coast. And I thought Matisse was going to beat Garcia, and Garcia stopped him and took away his own. But I was there his 2 fights ago when he fought Jose Benavidez, and he looked okay. And then after the fight, he kind of broke down and said he had some mental issues.
Right.
And we saw what happened last year against Lara up at 160. He didn't look good.
Didn't look good at all.
I like this kid, Danny Gonzalez. He's not a kid. He's kind of a veteran. He's been around. He's been busy. He's a B-side guy, right? He hasn't really got the big fights yet. He's always in shape. He comes to fight. I think this is the last fight for Danny Garcia because I think Gonzalez is going to beat Garcia. Unanimous. I got him winning in a unanimous decision.
It's a 10-rounder.
Garcia might have some moments, but
I
just don't think he's
a 10-rounder. And of course, Daniel Gonzalez has said he's coming out to win. He's going all out on this one. This is his fight. This is his
moment.
He's under the Star Boxing banner with Joe DeGuardia. He's out of Queens, New York, for those who don't know him.
Yeah.
He does knock guys out. And Danny Garcia's skills obviously have diminished. And my suggestion to Danny Garcia, this is your last fight. Taking it, he did. And go out there and become this legacy. The legacy is there. He established it. He wants to be a boxing Hall of Famer. He indeed will be. Many will vote him in right away. But to fight and go on, well, let's see. Because you know how it is, Tom. You know how this boxing game works. Danny Garcia is not a stranger to this, like a lot of fighters. They feel they don't have it. Then they go in the ring that night, and all of a sudden, they have it again, and then they're going to come back. We just saw that return of Manny Pacquiao, who continues at 44 years of age because he feels he still has it.
Listen,
That's what makes boxing so different from all the other sports.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit torn too. Like I like Gonzalez in this fight, but like you said, you never know with Danny Garcia. This is, I believe, his 10th fight in the Barclays.
Right.
His best moments, even in losses, the losses against Porter and Thurman were in the Barclays. Even the losses, he's had moments in both those fights.
Right, he did.
He hurt Thurman. I believe he hurt his elbow.
He did.
And Thurman had to get surgery in the elbow
exactly.
in that fight. And in that fight, even though Thurman won the fight, it was a close fight. I thought Garcia won the moments. And if there was another round or two, I think Garcia might have put Thurman away. That's just my opinion. The Porter fight was a good, entertaining fight too. But what I mean by that, his best moments, his best fights, wins and losses, have pretty much been at the Barclays. So you never know. That could maybe spark something.
Where he's had a lot of success, where he's got where sells out. Though I hear that ticket sales are very, very slow for this one Saturday night, despite all his fans and supporters coming up the turnpike from Philadelphia to go to Barclays. It's a really easy trip, and he has a lot of followers in New York as well.
It's going to be a good crowd.
It should be. Yeah, let's talk about it. We got Chris Colbert coming back for this one.
Chris Colbert's getting back, yeah.
He's had some hard times, and we also have Collazo on this card, the veteran.
No, is it Collazo on the card?
Yes, he is.
Rosado,
Rosado, not Collazo.
Yeah, Rosado's on the card. He's always in exciting fights, So I was like, Collazo, I thought he retired.
No, and Rosado.
And then
from Philadelphia as well. And our buddy, in a lot of the young prospects, 12 fights on the card. A lot of the young Swift promotion prospects, including our friend Keith Colon, who couldn't make it with us tonight. He's busy getting ready for Saturday night. Keith Colon, featherweight, out of Newark, New Jersey. 7-0, 7 knockouts against David Calabaro. That's the opponent. That's his 5th fight this year. All by knockouts, 4 and 6 rounders. And this is another 6-rounder. Tom, this is a big spotlight for that young man, Keith Colon. Wanted to ask him tonight live on the program because he's basically home in the New York area, and he gets another win. He's 8-0, and he's in the spotlight. This is on Millions pay-per-view, by the way, for those who want to buy it. So, interesting. We'll see what happens Saturday night at the Barclays Center. Danny Garcia's farewell or not. Yeah. All right, Tom, let's move on. Diego Pacheco, the rising young star, out of 24 years old, Mexican-American. Undefeated, 24-0. 3rd fight this year. Here we go. Fight is fighting more than once a year. That's great. Or more than twice a year. December 13th, Kevin Lizago on the zone. He's ranked number 8, Zago, by the WBO. Number 30 WBA super welterweight from Stockton, California is that young man, Diego Pacheco. Is undefeated. And they'll have lightweights on there. Ernest Mercado and the lightweight Gabriel Flores as co-features. Good card on the zone. But here's the thing, Tom. Pacheco's no longer with Jose Benvenidez Sr., who's training him. They had a falling out, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what's up with that situation. It was a bit of a surprise when I heard that he's not with him anymore. So, maybe there's good reason on both sides for the split. Not sure, but Diego Pacheco, undefeated fighter, has a very bright future ahead of him, and he's taking on a guy. I believe he's from France.
Yeah,
and he's undefeated as well.
Number 8 WBO. He is. Ask you, Tom. Let me ask you this about Pacheco. He's made it known that it's time for a title fight. Is he ready after he supposedly gets this win on in coming up in December?
Well,
at 168.
At 168, I mean, there's only one guy with all 4 titles. I think he should get a title shot.
Yeah.
Maybe if Bud doesn't, defend those titles, or if they happen to start stripping him soon, or if he, relinquishes the belts, then yeah, I think he should get an opportunity at one of the titles. He's ranked, I believe, in the top 2 of the WBO.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's ready for a title shot. Listen, 24 fights. I think after like 20 fights, you should be ready to
WBO's got him ranked number 3.
Number 3.
So we'll
okay,
see.
So 3.
Yeah, so he deserves something. It's just that Crawford has all the belts right now. So
and who knows? I think there's a rumor is that Bud may actually, there might be an actual rematch with him and Canelo. I think
that came up just came up yesterday. There is a lot of talk about a rematch, and Canelo's on the shelf right now. He had surgery on his arm or something. So we don't know if Canelo and Bud Crawford will rematch and when. I think they're talking Cinco de Mayo next year.
I think
in May.
They're waiting to see how the surgery goes, like how he heals, and then they'll make a decision. From my understanding, somebody that I know out in California told me that, and listen, this is not me, and I was like, are you sure? And he's like, well, this is what I heard. So I'm still not confirmed, but they said it's almost a done deal.
Yeah, well, you know what?
They
talked about doing it, not doing it, but the Turk guy's behind this. So,
Yeah.
Dana White. So with their new promotion, Zuma or whatever they're called, and obviously they probably take it back to Saudi Arabia. That's probably where they do it. But Canelo likes to fight in Las Vegas if they do this rematch, and there's a strong rumor they're going to have it. And Canelo wants it. He wants those titles back. We know how he is.
Yeah, and it's a lot of money to be made. I think this fight, the rematch, will make a lot more money. Bud will make a lot more money. And here's what the guy told me too. This is why I said I don't know if it's true. They say now Canelo got paid like close to 150 supposedly. Now he's got a 4-fight deal.
This would be his third with the Turk guy. Yeah,
his third fight for 100 million each fight. But what I heard is that this fight would be 200 million. So maybe this could be the buyout or the payout.
Still a lot of money. Still an awful lot of
this
money.
Fight for the rematch.
Yeah, but you know what? If Bud wants to retire right now, he could. Canelo could retire as well. Tom, let's move on. We'll look after this, though. There's a strong report that fight will be happening, a rematch, Canelo and Bud Crawford. Xander Zayas, we're waiting to see what his next move's going to be. Here he is in Puerto Rico, and he's playing basketball, and he's good at it. He's a great athlete. We got some images of him. I saw this. Look at him. Where would we sign him in the NBA?
I don't know about that.
He looks like.
Who's he playing against?
Well, this was in Puerto Rico at some type of league, and they invited him in, and he got on one of those teams. I don't know all the particulars about it, but he looks good with a basketball instead of a boxing glove. Yeah. He also got on he's also on the pitch playing soccer as well, and kicked the ball as good as some of the guys I see in the MLS. He's a phenomenal athlete, and it shows right there. I thought we'd get to that. And how about this one, Tom, before we wrap this segment up, about Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. They're talking that fight. They're talking about Garcia, the former champ, at 140 against Mario Barrios, who just fought Manny Pacquiao. That could be happening soon, an announcement. And Manny Pacquiao against Wally Romero, still not officially announced, but there's talk about that. They're going to sign that soon. And then, Tom, your comments about this as well. Amanda Serrano, MVP Promotions with Jake Paul in Puerto Rico, signed for January 3rd. It's happening in the Coliseo Roberto Clemente Stadium on the Zone. Amanda Serrano, the unified WBA, WBO featherweight title defense against Erica Cruz. She's 18-2, 4 KOs. So Jake Paul continues to heavily promote Amanda Serrano, despite Amanda losing 3 fights to Katie Taylor.
Well, I think this may be it. Remember, she was supposed to fight in Puerto Rico. I believe it was the beginning of last year or like the end of the year before. I can't remember. And then she had the injury. And she had to pull out, and she was, crying, and she was really heartbroken about it that she was supposed to fight in Puerto Rico. I don't know when's the last time she fought in Puerto Rico. It was a big thing. I believe this is it. I believe this is the retirement fight. I mean, I don't think she's going to announce that, but I think this is it for.
Well, Jake Paul's made her a lot of money. Jake Paul, as much as I can't stand him because of the way he is, and because he's a fake. Even though he does propel female boxing, he's been a big part of Amanda Serrano's career.
Can I touch up on something real quick? And I'm glad Queen 71. She basically said what I wanted to say. They want to basically give Ryan a belt if he's fighting Barrios, and I agree 10 million%.
That is a very good point,
exactly what they want.
Queen. Very good point. Thank you for commenting, and we want you all to comment on Keep It in the Ring with me and Tommy D here live on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And what else? We got another comment up there, Tom?
And a follow-up, which is I kind of believe the same thing. I don't think Ryan beats Barrios. Ryan is a lazy fire.
So what do you think? We want to hear. What do the fans want to see next for Ryan Garcia? He's training. He's staying in shape. Who do they want to see Garcia in there next? Tom, tell your viewers that watch this program because of you, not me.
Listen,
who do they want to see
with somebody competitive and just show that he's this guy that they build him up to be. Like he's been a nice job. He's never been a world champion.
No. Then he will never get a legacy if he doesn't get a belt on his waist.
Absolutely
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And tell your viewers also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Subscribe to my man Rich Mancuso, please.
Thank you, Tom. I didn't pay him to say that. Fact of the week. Fact of the week time, Tom. Put it up. Put it up.
Fact of the week. Hold on one second.
And I'm going to give it to you. You're going to try and get this one again.
Okay.
Here we go, folks. You ready, Tom? I know this is the favorite part of the program. You love this.
I like it when I do it, but go ahead.
Well, you're doing it. You like to do it better than I do it? Is that it?
Well, I do it. I put a little different spin on it, though.
I know you do. Well, I'm an old man. You're not. All right, Tom, here we go. This is fact, not trivia, every week. Before Manny Pacquiao became a successful pro Hall of Famer, 8-time division champ, never will happen again, in my opinion. What did he do before he was a fighter? Manny Pacquiao had another occupation before he became this great champion Hall of Famer. What do you think it was? This is fact, not trivia.
I don't know. Work in a market or something?
You're close. You're close to that.
Really? Okay. I said maybe work as a market.
Close.
Packing bags. I don't.
Something that you and I like to eat all the time. That's why we put pounds on.
Pizza.
So he did that. Yeah. Whatever he did
pizza.
No.
Pizza
in the Philippines?
I don't know. Maybe.
No. You want me to tell you what the fact is?
What is the fact?
He was a baker.
A baker? What is he baking?
Cakes, pastries. That's what he did.
Yes.
Bread.
Okay.
That's a fact.
I never knew that. That's a good one.
That's a fact. Thank you.
Where did you get that from?
I'm not going to tell you because then you'll use them when you're sitting into me.
You know what? You're right. Let me.
All right, let's take our quick first break of the hour. We have more Keep It in the Ring coming up. Some MMA news, a lot of that, including Conor McGregor, and the pro wrestling stuff. A lot of that with Seth Rollins. Is that injury legitimate, or is it another swerve by WWE? You're watching Keep It in the Ring live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Like, comment, and subscribe. Get me on social media. That's Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Back in a moment, folks. Stay with us. We got a lot more to come.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
I'm getting suggestions as we go along tonight.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, and I have a guest here watching the program. He loves the program. In fact, he's going to be on the program next week. He's a no martial artist champion and instructor. We'll talk some martial arts next week. Okay. He loves us, Tom, and I hope everyone watching loves us.
I hope so too. I mean, or hate us. I mean, I don't mind if people hate us as well. That means they're watching and hating someone. I don't mind that.
I love criticism, good or bad. It means they're watching and they're reading. All right.
Yeah, look,
Tom, let's move on.
This is one of my haters here. He says Thomas wants some pizza.
I want some pizza too. I didn't have it today. I'm hungry. So I'll have him deliver your home or mine, wherever we are. All right, let's get to the MMA talk. Conor McGregor in the news. Anti-doping ban. Dana White says he's matchmaking for this White House event in July, the big anniversary celebration. The July event, he won't know till February, though, if he's going to put Conor McGregor on the card. He's not going to matchmake that. He says there is a deal for McGregor against Michael Chandler. That talk about that fight for the longest time in the octagon. McGregor's ban expires in March of the new year, next year. So we'll look at that. And Alex Pereira, the knockout in the octagon, who claimed the light heavyweight championship over Antonov, 80 seconds. He did the striking. That's what got him the win. He lost to him in March, so he got redemption there. And that talk about Pereira against John Jones at heavyweight. That's a fight everyone wants to see in MMA in the octagon. That could be made in the new year. And Charles Oliveira, homecoming win in Rio. Gamrot submitted to him in the second round in the octagon, the lightweight. Last knocked out, of course, he was knocked out by Triporia. Lots of striking in this one as well. That's a main component of MMA. And I'll talk more about that with my martial arts expert next week. Fill us in a little more. One other boxing note, MVP today announced this and Jake Paul. You know that Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul circus we've been talking about that's coming up?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman, two greats in the octagon, heavyweights. They're going to fight. They're going to have a boxing match on that
I saw
card.
that it was added today.
November 14th on Netflix. Are you interested in that?
No, not at all. I
Neither
saw the
am I.
able. I didn't know if that was a joke. I didn't know what that was.
No, it's true. They put out a press release.
Yeah.
MVP and Jake Paul put out that big announcement today.
Wow.
So they're going to have two MMA fighters, put in the boxing gloves on, going in the ring, where it should be, not in the octagon. I have no interest in it. I have no interest in Davis and Paul either. I have no interest in it.
None of us, yeah.
And even though Gervonta Klein's making $40 million, I have no interest.
Good for him. Make your money. But,
Yeah.
nobody cares.
All right. Let's move on to the pro wrestling where we know it's scripted already. Okay? And let's take a look at WWE. A lot of that. A lot of that. Seth Rollins, Pert, Crown Jewel, and Cody Rhodes. And, of course, Seth won the Crown Jewel Championship. And that was a great match. That really was. That was a good one on ESPN. That's the app now. That's the only way you're going to get this stuff now. You have to subscribe to their app. And what did we see here? We saw Rollins doing all types of different moves. And Cody Rhodes went down. But that didn't mean that Rhodes lost the championship. That Rollins, though, has other problems, as we know. Well, let's look more at the Pert card as well. I think we have an image of... before we get the injury, do you have the John Cena stuff with AJ Styles? Yeah, Tom. This was nostalgic in ways because Cena emulated a lot of the WWE superstars, including late Bray Wyatt, with some moves. I thought that was classic, and the way he had Styles introduced, because supposedly Styles is going to retire soon. And he paid tribute to him before they got. That was a great match. Well, that was a match of the night in many respects. Did you see it?
I saw that. Both matches were good. The Rollins match and this match. was great. I thought the energy of this match was great. Everybody was there to see Cena. I thought that was pretty cool. Almost everybody had a John Cena story. And I thought that was pretty cool when he did the introduction for AJ Styles. So that was a very excellent match. A little bit of old school mixed with some new. I enjoyed it. It was really good.
It was. But now let's get back to everyone's talking about it because it's happened already. Seth Rollins supposedly was injured at one time. They swerved everyone. Triple H and Creative. Now we see on Monday Night Raw, Breakker and Reed and Heyman, the Oracle, turn on Seth Rollins, which was going to happen, but not this soon. It was going to happen next year with their new faction. Rollins is out of the picture. We don't know the severity. They said he tore a labrum. It's going to be out till next year or a little later. Again, he has a world title. We'll probably know more clarity on this on Raw Monday night on Netflix. Where does that title go? More so, this is the question. Will WWE once again swerve the fans and say this is just an angle, and Brock Lesnar coming in, there's talk of being a part of this because he's aligned with Heyman. Even Austin Theory's name's popped up. Tom, do you buy this as a legitimate injury now? I don't.
I have to buy it because if it's another swerve, it will be the dumbest thing Triple H has done as a booker. Because
I don't think they'd want to do that again.
It would be so bad because listen, it's too soon to break up the faction, right? So they was like you said, they were supposed to do it next year. It's too soon for this. So the only reason you do this is because obviously Rollins is really hurt, and now you want to keep the momentum going with both Brons, right? Bronson Reed and I can't get his name. Steiner, Steiner's kid, right?
Breakker.
That's it. I don't know why
you could call him Steiner because that's his real name.
Keep the momentum going with these guys. Maybe get a third guy. It's a little weird. What did they do with his wife? She was part of the faction too. Like that's
I know.
They can't turn her face.
There's all types of rumors right now. Roman Reigns. He's supposed to have Rollins probably at WrestleMania in April. All right. But they were going to turn on Rollins next year. Is this also a prelude to maybe, if this is not a swerve, that maybe Rollins and Reigns are going to reform their faction, the Shield, and go after these guys with Heyman?
It would be so bad. And then what about Brock? Brock is another guy rumored to be.
Brock, and we still don't know where he stands in all this, though I got to assume and think that Brock Lesnar, who's under contract, and a good one he has again with WWE and Endeavor, TKO, will be a part of the faction with Breakker and Reed and the Oracle Heyman. That I see that happening, and they'll be unstoppable.
But then who takes the back seat? Because it looks like Ron Breakker is kind of leading the charge because he's the one that kind of, that the actress was that he did it without Paul Heyman and Reed knowing, and then they joined them.
You might have to ask the Oracle Heyman because he puts a lot of this together. Or maybe if Robbie Rebel makes peace with me, he comes back on the program and gives me an analysis.
We got to get Robbie Rebel back. I mean, I miss the guy, and I know our fans miss Robbie Rebel. He's very good at what he does, and a lot of people. Let's face it. You say that people come in because they come to see me. I think people come to see Robbie Rebel.
I think so, and I miss him, and I need him, and I don't need him so much for the program. I miss his friendship.
Yeah,
but you need to reach out because I honestly think he's mad at me, and that's no swerve, my friends. That's no swerve. It's true.
I know he celebrated a birthday a few days ago.
Yeah, and he's been busy too. He's wrestling almost every weekend somewhere. All right, so that's the question, and that's something we got to look out for. The Survivor Series is coming up in a few weeks, believe it or not, in November. And there's all types of talk of who's going to be team of the women's part of it. They might just do one Survivor Series format match and go with other things. We'll have more clarity on this next week, and of course we'll analyze it as we always do on the program. In the meantime, we got to look at AEW Wrestle Dream. That's their next pay-per-view coming up Saturday night from St. Louis. Payperview.com, HBO Max. Wrestle Dream. Looks almost like WrestleMania. That's what Tony Khan does. AEW claims they're doing so great with the ratings. You know, over 200,000 people watch them on TNT. Look, it's a different product. I talk about it all the time. Their arenas are empty as well. They cannot rival WWE no matter what they do. Wrestle Dream, that is, not WrestleMania. Look at the similarity in the logo. That's one bad thing that they've done there. However, we get Darby Allin again and Jon Moxley. I Quit match. And Darby Allin says that he wins. He's putting the AEW flag with the logo that he used to climb the top of Mount Everest this year over Jon Moxley's face. It's an I Quit match. And I know you're not an AEW fan, Tom, as much as I keep a track of them all the time. But I'm getting tired of seeing these two, but I love watching Darby Allin because he's real extreme. He can do anything he wants, and he's good at what he does.
Yeah. No, Darby Allin's good, and Moxley's good too, to an extent. Those hardcore matches that he does, I'm not really a big fan of. It's not, I'd rather see another athlete do it, but
yeah,
I'm not an AEW. I wonder what Jericho's going to do. I don't know if it's Jericho.
Jericho is supposedly headed WWE again.
Yeah. He does a cruise every year about this time,
and he's not getting the guys from AEW to come along.
That's a sign.
So,
Chris Jericho is one of my favorites. I don't know if you know that.
Well, anyway, Moxley and Allen worth the watch probably. Hangman Page, Samoa Joe for the AEW Championship. Also, they have, again, like 10 matches on a show that'll go 5 hours. Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe, TNT title. The Young Bucks, Jurassic Express for $500,000. That's what that's all about. They played an angle that the Young Bucks lost a lot of money. Whatever. Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, I want to see. And I want to see, of course, my favorite, Toni Storm. Her friend Chris Statler wants her title for the women's title. They've got Kyle Fletcher on there, Young Buck. They have Brody King in an AEW tag title match with Okada and Kakashita. You can get lost with them, Tom. Let me put it that way, despite what Tony Khan says that they're very, very well. They're not. They're not doing well.
As far as I know, they're not doing very well. And, people do like the product. And I guess they do like it if there's nothing else to watch, if they like wrestling, but I don't watch it. I haven't watched AEW. I don't know when's the last time.
Well, I don't watch it in entirety. To me, it's just like they did 3 hours last night on TBS to promote this, Wrestle Dream. It looks like WrestleMania. And I'm not knocking the competition. It's always good to have that. It's good. And wrestling fans are getting their mix of it. But to me, I don't know. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. I don't know. Anyway, what do the fans think? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso, Tommy D Sports Store, String Punk Entertainment. We want to hear from you. Let's get to nostalgia. Then I'm going to wrap it up, take a break, and take a little break, and come back with Sports with Rich and Tommy D. Nostalgia time, Tom. Let's look at it. October 13, 1923. There it is. Henry Armstrong, the second round knockout of Howard Scott in Minneapolis, retaining the world welterweight title. Armstrong's second title defense in 4 days. How do you like that? Back then they did it that way in 1923. 4 days of title defenses in the month. Tom, can you imagine fighters doing that today? They barely fight twice a year.
Yeah. You will never see that again. I think we've seen something like this happen. Who's the guy that Wallen? A little while ago, Wallen took like a fight, and then the next week he fought like Anthony Joshua or somebody like that. That was the closest we've seen. But guys are not doing it in 4 days.
To hear that in 1923, Henry Armstrong retaining a world welterweight title, and there was only one title then, not all the alphabets do. A second title defense in 4 days. Unheard of today. It never happened today. That's unbelievable.
Never. Yeah.
All right, so I thought I'd send that one big nostalgia item of the week this week. Tom, any final thoughts before we wrap up this part of the hour or keep it in the ring and go into sports with Rich and Tommy D?
Well,
a little 5-minute break and we'll come back.
Only thing I could say is, I'll be there Saturday. Are you going to be there Saturday?
I will be.
Yeah, we'll both be there in the Barclays. There's some decent fights. I would say decent because, the names are relevant. They're not really fighting anybody. Rosado's always in interesting fights. Kohlberg, I'm interested to see how he bounces back. He's fighting a guy he's supposed to be. I think Albright is fighting Comey. That should be interesting as well.
Yes, 12 fights again at Barclays on Saturday night. But the farewell for Danny Garcia, as we said, is his farewell of Brooklyn? Farewell from boxing overall. That remains to be determined. We'll find out Saturday night. All right, Tom, great job. Keep it in the ring. Wrapped up this hour. Like, comment, and subscribe again to my channel on YouTube. Of course, TD Sports Talk and all the other shows he does on YouTube. He does so many, I can't keep track. I don't know how this guy gets time to eat. I don't know. He's busy, Tommy D.
I try. We did a good show yesterday. I had Ricardo Figueroa on yesterday. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. He talks about he had a fighter that fought this past Saturday. Who I thought was robbed, and he lets us know about a lot of other fighters that he manages that have fights coming up. And soon I'll be getting some of those fighters on the platform, doing interviews with them. Some speak English, and the ones that speak Spanish. I'll get a translator.
Oh, you know what you're doing. You're more in tune to technology and all this stuff more than I am. I'm still old school Rich. But we'll be back. Stay tuned. Don't leave the channel. We're just going to take a brief time out, 5 minutes or less, regroup, come back. Sports with Rich and Tommy D. But for this edition of Keep It in the Ring this week, thank you, boxing fans, wrestling MMA fans, for tuning in. Sports with Rich and Tommy D coming up next on my channel here on YouTube, and with Tommy D as well in String Punk Entertainment. Until you come back next week, we keep it in the ring. Like I always say, be well, stay well, be good to each other, and God bless. And Tom, as always,
keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in 5 minutes or less. Sports with Rich and Tommy D coming up next here, live on my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso. Stay with us. Back in a few.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Petwell Clinic was built with busy pet parents like you in mind, providing walk-in preventative vet care, treatment for minor ailments, and chronic condition management. You remain with your pet throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises at checkout. Just walk in to our Paramus, Greenbrook, or Union locations, or visit us at petwellclinic.com for more information.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Rich Mancuso, my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's not keeping in the ring. We're working on that part of it. That's Tommy D. This is Sports with Rich and Tom. The second hour of our program or so, of our programming on Thursday night here. Thursday, October 15th, 2025. 16th?
16.
Oh, I want to go back in time, that's why. Because time is flying, as we know. Tom, great keeping the ring first hour. Let's talk sports now. And we have a lot planned for a half hour or so. MLB, the postseason continues. Some NFL talk as well. But first, we'll get into how you reach us again. Subscribe, like, comment to my channel. We want to hear from you. And to Tommy D on TD Sports Talk, String Punk Entertainment. Social media, Ring786 at X, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Instagram, read my content, LatinoSports.com. It's Sports with Rich and Tom. Tom, we're going to get right to it because in Major League Baseball postseason, which has been very exciting on my end, I've covered a lot of this. I haven't covered on site what's going on now, but I will be soon again. But it's been real interesting with the 4 teams left. And who would know more about this than our guest right now coming in? Colleague of mine for 43 years or more. Yeah, he's Howie Karpin, who is Sirius Satellite Radio. And he does sports updates there. And also an esteemed and well-liked and very efficient, one of the best in the business, an official scorer for Major League Baseball, Howie Karpin. Do we have him there? Ready to go, Tom?
Yep, there he goes.
Here he is, my buddy Howie Karpin. Howie, thank you, my friend. Thanks for taking some time this Thursday night with me and Tommy D. Do you miss the ballpark as much as I do?
Not yet. It takes a little time to withdraw from the.
No, I'm pretty depressed, despite all the boxing that I do also, and everything else. I'm depressed. I can't stand when it takes me about a month before the withdrawals come out. Because it's a routine that we have. We're there a lot, you know?
Yeah, it can wear you down, though, sometimes.
Yeah, it can. It can. I do take my days as well. Howie, I brought you on. There's a lot of reasons why. Of course, we're in this postseason. In fact, the Dodgers, once again, they get that commanding 3-1 lead tonight in the NLCS over the Brewers. And, of course, we have the Seattle Mariners and Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS. Howie and Tommy D, my co-host, jump in anytime you want. Because this is Sports with Rich and Tom. Howie, what do you make of it so far? The Final Four with a chance to go to the World Series. What are your thoughts?
A bit of a letdown. I mean, the Dodgers are just dominating here. It's not even close. And their pitching is just totally shut down. 2 really good teams in the Phillies and the Brewers. I mean, they're on the verge of a sweep now after winning tonight 3-1. Milwaukee has not hit at all.
No.
I mean, they led the majors in batting average during the season, and the Dodgers have just come. You know, they have the championship pedigree, and it's coming to the surface. You've seen this happen a lot. Defending champ stumbles a little during the regular season. They find their game in the postseason, and they're going to be hard to knock off. 8 of 9 in the postseason right now. It's going to be hard for Seattle or Toronto to knock them off in the World Series. They look primed to be the first team to repeat since the Yankees.
This is very interesting right now because there's momentum, obviously, with the Mariners. That continues in the American League. And the Blue Jays finally broke out last night. I'm very interested in the Mariners and how Polanco has become an October hero. Doesn't always one player become a hero in October?
Yeah, that's what usually happens. A guy comes out of nowhere, and he tends to dominate the scene. Now, whether they make it, this gets 1-0 Seattle in the second.
Yeah, I just saw that.
If they make it, I mean, they have the pitching maybe to slow the Dodgers down, but their hitting is not as good as Toronto. Toronto has a much better lineup than Seattle. But, I don't think either of them really are going to have a real good shot against the Dodgers right now.
No.
The Dodgers seem primed to repeat. It's going to be real tough.
And, of course, pitching will win in October, and they're definitely getting it, as you mentioned. Tom, any questions right now for Howie?
No, I'm agreeing with everything you guys are saying. I think I'll just add to about the Dodgers. A team that they spent a lot of money on this team. They just kind of got hot at the right time. Because the Brewers. We spoke about this 2 weeks ago before the playoffs started. I had the Brewers and Seattle in the World Series. And I still can hit with Seattle, but I thought the Brewers would do a far better showing what they've done so far. And like you said, Howie, they haven't been hitting. They let in batting average. They can hit the long ball. They can beat you on the bases as well. Stealing the bases, and the Dodgers have just dominated. And that lineup has just come to life. The first five hitters in that Dodger lineup is just impossible to beat. I think Seattle has a good shot because of their pitching, but Wu, who to me is their best pitcher, he's out. I don't know if he'll be able to pitch in the World Series. I think if Seattle was to beat a team like the Dodgers, I think Wu needs to be in that rotation.
Well, I'll tell you another thing, and Howie interject as well, of course. Howie Karpin, my guest on the program right now. The Mariners get some runs. They have a slim lead going into the late innings. And who do you bring in? Their great closer, Munez, who only throws sliders. That's all he throws.
Well, that's what he's been doing in these playoffs. But he's got a live fastball. I agree with Tom on the Brewers. Brewers haven't had any opportunities to do anything offensively. That's what's been unreal. What this Dodger pitching has shut them down. The Dodgers are not even hitting that great. Ohtani's not doing that great.
No, he's become almost like the Aaron Judge of last year.
Yeah, and their offenses are really clicking. So they're winning on their pitching. They've totally shut down the Brewer lineup. Everyone's going to point to 2004 when the Red Sox came back from 3-0. I don't think it's happening here in Milwaukee. Maybe they win a game or two. They'll be lucky they get it back to Milwaukee. I think the Dodgers sweep them tomorrow night.
They're on the verge of a sweep, and they'd have plenty of time to rest up before the World Series commences. So that's for sure.
Although if Seattle wins in 5, I think the series won't wait till Friday. I think it will start a couple of days earlier.
Take a look at that play the other night, and you made the media rounds on it yesterday. That weird, unusual double play and a call that nobody really knew. Take us through it again.
Yeah, well, what happened there was mass confusion because Sal Frelick, it was bases loaded, 1 out. Sal Frelick went back on a drive by Max Muncy, made a tremendous play to, you want to say he kept it in the ballpark, but, at the very worst, that's an extra base hit. It went off the glove and hit the wall, so that ball's in play. It just happened to carry him right back to him. He's so far away from the guys on the field. It's credit to the left field umpire who initially signaled safe that the ball's in play. And, the communication for the Brewers to get that done, to get that 8-6-2 relay, to get the guy at the plate. Now, Teoscar Hernandez made the mistake at third. Yeah. He can tag as soon as Frelick touches the ball, even though Frelick doesn't catch it. For some reason, he got confused. Even if the guy caught the ball, he should have tagged up at that point. I don't know why he went back. Yeah. Even Dave Roberts admitted after the game he had a brain lapse. Yeah. That kind of set up the relay to get him on a force at home. Then the other two runners were confused, by what Hernandez did. But it was a force at third, a force at home. Contreras could easily just threw to third and got the force, but I guess he just wanted to make it an unassisted play at that point. It was hard to communicate from the coaches because there was so much noise in the ballpark. I'm sure the coaches were saying, go, 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 whatever, and maybe they just couldn't hear them on the base paths. It was the runners that set up that play. Highly unusual. And here again, the Dodgers go on and win the game anyway. A lot of times that kind of play will cost you in a ball game. It hasn't cost them, and and they're rolling right now. Again, they're getting everything going their way. Even when they screw up on the bases, they still end up winning the game.
Yeah. Very unusual play. In fact, a
lot of people don't know about that too. Like a lot of people, I played baseball and I coached Little League baseball for years. A lot of people don't know that once the ball touches your glove, it's live. You can tag up, you can do whatever, because he could touch a glove and he could bobble, 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 bobble as much as he can and then catch it. And people think, once he catches it, then he could go and tag. No, once it touches the glove, or touches any part of the player, that's a live ball. You can tag. You can tag.
Yeah, and
that rules the whole time.
Yeah, it's Howie and Tom. It's a similar circumstance happened at Citi Field, Dodgers Mets in May. Almost a similar circumstance in the outfield on a play like that, if I'm not mistaken. I might have been there covering it. I don't remember.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the runner is supposed to stay at third. Once the ball's hit the outfield, he should be in tag mode anyway, no matter what. Because if the guy drops it or goes over, you're scoring no matter what. And even if he catches it, you're scoring no matter what. So
hey, Howie, Tommy,
base running play.
Tommy D knows the rule book, doesn't he? Make him an official scorer. So Howie, you score. How did it go down in the scorebook again? How do you score it number wise?
That's 8-6-2.
8-6-2, great number.
Yeah, the catcher gets both putouts. There was a similar 8-6-2 play at Wrigley Field in 2004. Elias cited it, but the center fielder caught that ball and then turned it into an 8-6-2 double play. So it's a little different than the play here.
Very weird, but and then again, weirdness always seems to happen in the MLB postseason, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, that's baseball. You always never know what you're going to see. You can watch 2,000 games and you see something you never saw before.
No, that one we saw. What do you make of Vladimir Guerrero and the Blue Jays now? He broke out last night again and manhandled the Yankees, of course. What about Guerrero? Does he have the ability to carry this team now in the postseason, depending with the Mariners?
Sure.
What's impressed you with him in the postseason?
He has total confidence at the plate. He doesn't fear any pitcher out there. He goes up there thinking, I'm going to get a hit off anybody. Certainly his attitude toward the Yankees is just amplified because he loves playing the Yankees. But he's a very tough out. It was a little surprising. He went 0 for 7 in the first 2 games against Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to happen. It can happen in a short series. You can go into a slump at the wrong time. It happens. It's happened to the best of them. But, yeah, he could carry them the rest of the way. They still got to put him in the situations to be carried. You hit solo homers. You can live with solo home runs off him. The reason he killed the Yankees was he kept coming up with men on and delivering. He demoralized the Yankees single-handedly, and that's what he can do.
The Blue Jays guys also doing this without Bo Bichette in the lineup. He's been hurt.
Andres Jimenez, the guy that used to play with Cleveland.
My boy, yeah.
So now they're up 2-1 now.
Yeah,
he's a better fielder than Bichette. So it gives him a little more solid defense.
Yeah, Jimenez showing some power. He's not a home run hitter by all means, and now it's back-to-back nights.
One home run. I mean, he's going to hit a home run every now and then. So
yeah, well, look, when I talked to him, I said, when are you going to hit the home run ball? He says, I don't need to. I get on base, and he's right about that.
Yeah, right.
Also, a Gold Glove winner again for the Blue Jays in the infield. So. Howie Karpin, Sirius Satellite Radio, an official scorer of Major League Baseball. Howie, that's got to be a demanding job, though. We talk about it all the time. It's as bad as being a boxing judge, because sometimes, whether you give a hit or an error or whatever, and explaining the rule, you got to know that rule book, my friend, and you do.
I know it pretty good. I don't know it cover to cover, but if I have to look up something, I know where to look. But, yeah, the media depends on us for those kind of, not just the calls in case of a goofy situation arises. Yeah, they kind of depend on us to, clarify what's going on. Now, you've been at many of my games for sure. I explain things on the microphone, which a lot of scorers don't do.
Right.
I think, the late Bill Shannon, and unfortunately we're coming up to the anniversary of the day he passed away.
He was your mentor, yeah?
He was my mentor. He was considered one of the best scorers in the country when he was working. He used to say, you're kind of a servant to the media. A guy may be typing a story, may be looking down, so, they rely on you to make the announcements and keep them posted on what's going on, beside the fact that you're responsible for making judgment calls, and you're the person that creates the box score. When it's all said and done, and you know how sacred baseball statistics are to many
Yeah,
people.
it's all
You know,
numbers.
And
Yeah,
out of the four majors, it's the most renowned statistical thing. With
all
baseball.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could cite Babe Ruth's home runs. Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron. You ask a lot of hockey people. How many goals does Gretzky have? Yeah, they may know that, but how many goals did Mario Lemieux have? You wouldn't really know that. Football, same thing. How many touchdown passes did Tom Brady have? It doesn't come to the top of their head like baseball does. So baseball.
Yeah, you know what? You're bringing that up, and it comes up today with a point, guys, that Cal Riley, with his home runs in the postseason right now, he had 60 during the season. Now they're saying he's hit, and there's been a little buzz about this. I don't think it's a major issue that he's got 62 home runs during the season now. Of course, the postseason home run doesn't count towards what he did during the season.
That's just guys talking. There's nothing to it.
No, they create storylines. They're always looking
And
for
the
that.
MVP's already been voted on anyway.
I know.
The votes are
Who do
in.
you think? Who do you think's got the hold on AL and NL MVPs this year?
Well, I think
Is it
it's
Judge O'Reilly in the AL?
I think it's
Is it
gonna be
Ohtani?
I think it's going to be Raleigh.
Yeah.
Because
Now,
I
why?
agree.
I don't get to vote on it because I'm not a member of the Baseball Writers Association. Tom, who do you see as the MVP in the
I
both leagues?
think you got to give it to Riley because a catcher hitting 60-something home runs, and the pitching staff has done great.
Switch hitting catcher as well.
The catchers
Yeah.
get credit for that as well. So and Seattle's in the postseason. They won the division. Judge has been great this year. I mean, Judge is the best player in baseball in my opinion. Unless when Ohtani is pitching, and doing both, then I give the little edge to Ohtani because he can do both. But to me, Judge is the best player in baseball. But the MVP is definitely Riley, in my opinion.
And the National League, I gotta go. It may not be Ohtani; it could be Carl Schreiber, who's going to walk off here with the Phillies. What do you think, Howie?
I think the media loves Ohtani.
Ohtani.
I think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
And that's why MLB wanted the Yankees Dodgers again.
I mean, to me, you want to say he's a great pitcher. I don't like the fact that they make a special rule for him. Nobody else can take advantage of that. I think it's a little unfair. That's just my opinion. Look, he's a great hitter. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But if he got hurt, you're losing 2 spots for one guy. They've been fortunate that he got by this year. He's going to pitch tomorrow. He's going to start the game against the Brewers. The media loves him. I agree with Tommy. I think the Judge is the best player in the game right now.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here's another thing. Why doesn't Judge finish as a finalist at least for the Gold Glove? Why has he never won a Gold Glove?
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
Well, maybe
I really
it's
don't.
because he's out there in the outfield or something, and maybe some things he's done in right field.
They give you the Gold Glove for the outfield.
Yeah.
Not because he's in the outfield. That's
But
what
the
they
Gold
give him
Glove has
Gold
always been BS too. There's a lot of guys that got Gold Glove that haven't deserved. I mean, I remember one year, if I'm not mistaken, you guys could tell me wrong. You're the stat guy, Howie. If was it Edgar Martinez won the Golden Glove and he played like 30 games at first base or something? There was one year he won the Golden Glove. Palmeiro, that's what it was, not Martinez. Palmeiro.
Yeah, I tend to, that's one of the. It's a great award for a player to have. It goes on their resume and in contracts and all that stuff. But I don't take any credit. I really don't look at it as a standard to being this outstanding player. It's a nice award, but don't get me wrong. But it's not an MVP or anything like that.
No, but it should be on his resume. I mean,
it should be. But maybe because Judge has accomplished so much in this great career of his that it doesn't matter to him.
It's defensive metrics now. That's how they measure.
Okay, there you go.
Runs saved and all this garbage. Mm-hmm. Watch the games. That's all I tell you. Watch the games.
I say that all the time. Watch the games.
I didn't see who the finalists were in right field, but you're telling me 3 guys in the American League are better right fielders than Aaron Judge?
No, I don't agree.
Ridiculous.
It is. Well, it could be
last year, Lindor should have won the MVP, the Gold Glove at short. He's a better fielder than Swanson.
Yeah. I don't know what goes into it. I don't get to vote. You don't get to vote. So I don't know what gives them, what lets them do it. What do they look at? You hear some guys buzzing about it in the press box. We always hear about it to talk. But really, what are they looking at? It's true. Locally, Howie, a lot of interest. Let's focus briefly on the Yankees. Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, manager and the GM, had their State of the Union end of the season address. Talked to the media today. Did you catch any of that at Yankee Stadium today?
I heard it.
There's been an update about Volpe's injury, and an update about Clark Schmidt, Garrett Cole's coming back, things like that, and even Judge's elbow issue that seems to be okay. He's fine. What did you make of that today? What Brian Cashman said about they're going to be active in the off season. They've made coaching changes already. Even my buddy and your buddy Louis Rojas is rumored to be the next manager of the Orioles, third base outfield coach for the Yankees. The bullpen coach after so many years is no longer there, and so many others. What did you make of Brian Cashman's meeting with the media today, and Aaron Boone? Some of the comments he made.
I think it's the same old story with them. They didn't really tip me off in anything different. The only thing, you got to look at what happened the last year. Carlos Rodon also had bone chips removed from his elbow.
That too, right.
That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
And,
I didn't know that.
And that would explain why he had command problems in the postseason.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a surprise right there.
Are you saying that I might have been too hard on Rodon because I killed him in the postseason?
Well, no, you were right to kill him because he didn't do what he had to do against the Blue Jays. Needed the Max Fried. And who would have expected that 1-2 combo punch Yankees postseason with the Blue Jays to fail like that? I mean, it took him right out of it.
It happens. Look, Rodon had bone spurs in his elbow, so maybe that's why he wasn't that good in the postseason. Fried just had a bad game. I mean, it happens.
It happened.
In a blink of an eye, you could be gone. Things happen. Game 4, they didn't hit, and they, after Game 3, they had some momentum. The Judge home run off the foul pole. So, I mean, after that, they had nothing. But this Yankee team has to have a change in philosophy. If that doesn't happen, they're going to be spinning their wheels again. They'll make the playoffs. They have to be better against their own division. They were not good in the East.
Yes.
They padded themselves against a weak Oriole team that's going to be better next year. They won 9 of 13 against Tampa. They were just better than Tampa. But they weren't good against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays.
No, in the division.
They were lucky to survive the Red Sox, and then the Blue Jays snapped them.
They need a total roster reconstruction.
No,
Do you agree?
They don't need a total roster.
No?
No.
Well, what about this then? We'll take it to 3 left-handed catchers on a roster?
Well, that's not a total roster reconstruction. You got to tweak it a little. You bring in a right-handed catcher.
Right. Tom, this is me and Howie. We talk like this all the time. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Looking from the outside, when I mean tweak, I'm meaning reconstruction. That's what I mean to say. But I'm not impressed with Volpe, injury or not. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm not impressed with the Yankees with Chisholm. I don't like his antics on the field, off the field. And he doesn't come up big for this team.
And you can't get rid of him right now. What are you going to do? You got to fill third base. Third base, you got a good defender. You don't have a hitter. Their infield needs a little bit of tweaking. Volpe needs some competition at shortstop to get him off his butt, and not be so secure in that position. They made a big mistake with Jason Dominguez because Trent Grisham, had a lucky year and had to play. They don't tell Dominguez, look, you're our guy, and then there's this narrative that he's a terrible outfielder. He's an average outfielder right now that can get better. He's 20.
He was still learning on the job. And today, Aaron Boone said that basically next year, that's going to be his job out there. Because it's obvious. Bellinger or Grisham in their walk year, who do they re-sign? Who do they bring back?
Dominguez had 23 stolen bases?
Yeah.
And he hardly played?
But that's Boone.
Now, can you imagine him and Caliabro in the same lineup, stolen bases like that? They need that athleticism. They need that.
Boone to, like Howie, the first thing you said is the thing I agreed with the most. The philosophy has got to change. Boone is terrible. This analytics has got to go. You got to say Dominguez is your guy. You can't do what you did this year. If you're going to get Bellinger, then Bellinger is your guy in center field. If not, then let Grisham play. I don't like Grisham. I don't think.
How much?
I don't want Grisham back.
How much? I don't want him either. I don't want to see that on the Yankees no more. How much? Bring up analytics, guys. How much does analytics play a role in with this team? You hear so many conflicting reports. We hear it all season, Howie.
It changes the consistency of how he puts the lineup out and the players he put on the field.
But Boone is in on that stuff. Supposedly, is what I keep hearing, that he has a way he can overrule and give his opinion on it. Is that entirely true, Howie?
A lot of it comes from above. A lot of it does come from above. Now, look, they didn't have a great bullpen this year, so you got to give them credit that they even won 94 games. They basically won it on their starting rotation. Bellinger had a terrific year after a slow start. Judge is Judge, you know that. Stanton played half a year, and they need a first baseman. They need a little more on the left side of the infield. It's amazing they won 94 games because they beat up on the lesser teams in the American League, but when it came to their own division, they really struggled, and that's what cost them the division title in the end. You think about all the games they gave away because of that bullpen early in the year. I mean, there were so many. It was at least 10 to 12 games that they gave away. They win 3 or 4 of those, and they win the division.
Yeah.
They ended up spending a lot of money on Williams, and he was a bust.
You got to win
He
those.
wasn't a total bust. He did well at the end. Luke Weaver turned into a bust.
Well, he's
very
gone.
hittable. He had no confidence.
So you look at Weaver and Williams not returning for sure. I don't see that happening. They're going to revamp this bullpen again, and those two not coming back.
I wouldn't count on Williams not coming back, believe it or not.
Let's look on the other side of town, and they've not even being talked about at all much. To me, David Stearns is a failure with this team. They need to re-sign the Mets' Pete Alonso. That has to happen, or the fan base will get angry. And you need Alonso at first base. That's going to be hard to replace the type of last 2 seasons he's had with the Mets, Howie. We know. Tom, Pete Alonso has played 162 games consecutive years. He's an iron horse, okay? What are your feelings on the Mets, Howie? What do they got to do?
They need a center fielder to boot. They have to decide whether Brandon Nimmo should be in their plans. He's been inconsistent the last 2 years. I think he's a good kid. I don't think he's a great player. Lindor's a year older. They have to solve their third base situation and commit to one person. Who's that going to be? Beatty, Mauricio, or Vientos?
Yeah.
Vientos' defensive shortcomings showed up this year. They didn't show up last year, so they thought they had something going. I told people, I said he could take a step back, and he took a big step back. Second base. I'm not a big Jeff McNeil guy.
No, can they trade him? Neither am I. He doesn't come up big when he should.
It's not that he doesn't come up big. I don't think his versatility is so valuable.
Yeah, that too. I think every Met fan is looking for Jeff McNeil to be traded. And what about David Stearns? 2 years now on the job. Can you give him a grade for this year?
Yeah, grade was a D.
Yeah. You don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And in New York, that's unacceptable. With that $350 million payroll, you got to make the postseason. There's no question about it.
Well, can I ask you guys a question real quick? Because you guys mentioned center field. There's a kid that I've been watching, and they converted him to center field. I think he's a shortstop. Jet Williams, is he ready? Does anybody know anything about him? Jet Williams in the Mets farm system. He's supposed to be a top prospect.
But they don't want to trade him away, and I had heard, guys, that they're going to give him a shot in spring training to make the team next year.
Okay, because they moved him. He comes up at a shortstop, but they moved him to center field because he's not going to take Lindor's spot.
But knowing David Stearns, he'll trade him away.
Well, they had a chance maybe to get Crochet if they would have traded him away.
Yeah,
they didn't do.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing I got with Stearns. He thinks he's running the Milwaukee Brewers in a different market than New York. He's got the payroll here in New York. You can't do this in New York. You can't sign low-level free agents that have failed, like Frankie Muniz, Montez, whatever. Nunez, Montez, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
I
a
know.
failure, injury prone. And I got another word for you. I don't know what his contract stipulates and all that. Senga is not your ace on the mound.
Yeah, no kidding. He
So-
got cute like he did last year. He got away with it last year. He thought he could do it again. You can't worry about the back end of a contract when you got money to spend.
Yeah,
Now, after this year, who knows if there's going to be a salary cap?
yeah.
Pete Alonso's situation is up in the air. They're not.
It
happy.
is.
They're not
Yeah.
high on his defense.
What do you get, guys? Let's play general manager here. Tom, Howie Karpin, Sirius XM radio on Cyrus. Also, Major League Baseball official scorer, one of the best ones. Been doing it a long time. General manager here of the Mets. What do you do next year? What do you do to make this team better for next year? Tom, take a crack at it first.
Well, they got to get a legitimate ace. They definitely need a starting pitcher. They need a legitimate ace. Alonso is difficult because at his age he wants to get paid top dollar, and it's hard to give him that money at that age. I say if you built the team to win now, then go for it. You know what I'm saying? So I would give him the money if you are going to make the necessary moves to build this team. Where I think where they need the most help is starting pitching. I think they need a legitimate ace.
There'll be a lot of them out there, Howie. There's a lot of. How about training for Sandy Alcantara?
I don't
He
know
would
if the
be-
Marlins are going to trade in the division.
Well, and also
they're going to hold the Mets up, Rich. They're going to hold the Mets up for,
and they're going to want a lot of the prospects as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, I agree. But the kid McLean can be a viable part of this rotation next year out of the other two that they brought up, being Sprout and Young. What do you think of that kid, Howie?
He looked good so far, but he hasn't been around the league yet. You don't know what he's going to do when they start to make the adjustments on him. Yeah, his stuff looks legit. But look, we all heard about Jonah Tong. He was this great guy in the minor leagues.
Right.
When he came up, his fastball was straight as an arrow, and he's throwing over the top.
Yeah.
Major league hitters eat that up. He's got to come up with another pitch.
Yeah.
Stroh looked-
And perhaps too soon. They put him into the fire too fast. Too
Well, they
soon.
had no choice.
I know.
They had to make that move.
I know.
He's had some good spots though.
He did. His first start was respectable. After that, not as good.
Yeah,
What do you?
because they got some film on him, and they saw some things they.
That's right. You learn.
Take advantage of.
What do you pay Pete Alonso? How many years, Howie, if you want to keep him as a Met?
You got to give him at least 5. He's not going to get 7. Let me tell you something. The Red Sox and the Mariners may overwhelm you. Are the Mets ready to overwhelm them to keep him there?
Even with Steve Cohn's money, with all that money?
Even with that money, Stearns is not going to want to go 7 years.
Right.
If Cohn, overrules him, he seems to defer to Stearns. He could end up with the Red Sox. Or the Mariners.
But I don't think you think the Red Sox. You think any team is going to give Alonso 5 years? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think 3 years is is the max. I don't see any team at his age. What is he? 33?
No, he's only 31.
I thought he was 33. Okay.
No, he's not that old yet.
No,
Not
he
that
can.
old.
He's
old
going to
for
give you
70.
35, probably 40 home runs a year, over 100 RBI, and he'll play every day. He doesn't want to be out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got a lot of teams. The Mets maybe don't value his defense, and they're talking about run prevention.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a little bit of a conundrum there.
Well, knowing David Stern's philosophy, and you also have to look at the fan base, it's a big part of this. They're big Alonso fans. They want him back. Steve Cohn, I'm sure, likes him very much. It's just a matter of what we're going to see in the offseason. Howie, any final thoughts? Here, I'll put you. Who do you like going to the World Series out of the 4 remaining?
I still think the Blue Jays are going to rebound in the series. I think it's going to be Blue Jays Dodgers.
Okay. I kind of like that. I've been swaying towards that. You, Tom, who do you like?
Who I like is not who I really want to win, but it looks like the Dodgers are going to win. I'm going to root hard for the Brewers, but my cheering is not going to help them. And I would like to see Seattle go to the World Series as well. Right now, Toronto's up 3-1, so if Toronto wins, they tie the series. So, I'm gonna just say just to be the odd guy out. I'm gonna keep rooting because I can't stand the Dodgers. I'll just say Brewers and Mariners.
Because you're all Yankee too. That's why.
Yeah, I can't root for the Blue Jays.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
Howie Karpin, my colleague. How many years we've known each other now? It's got to be 45.
At least.
Yeah, we're still at it. We're still in the press box doing our thing every year too.
I'm sorry to hear that, Howie. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Can't you see I got the scars to prove it?
I'm gonna get you for that, Tom. I'm gonna get you for that. Howie, my friend, my best to you and your lovely wife, Kathy, and I'll be in touch. It's not like I'm going to see you as much, but we'll be in touch during the off season. And thanks again, my friend.
Anytime, guys. Great to be with you.
All right,
Nice
Howie
talking to you,
Karpin.
Howie.
Go back to watching the postseason, and that's the great Howie Karpin, Tommy D, my co-host here at Sports with Rich and Tom. Here at my YouTube channel, Rich Mancuso and Tommy D. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and my Facebook page as well. Interesting what Howie had to say. He's a baseball guy. He still plays the game too in Central Park in New York.
Oh, really?
But-
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And when I get you in the press box one day, Tom, you'll meet Howie and see how it's all done. Because being an official scorer is very, very. You have to be just like a boxing judge.
Yeah.
Can't get your eyes off the field. He never does.
Listen, when you coach Little League, like when I used to love
Yeah.
doing the book. So doing the book is basically you keeping score of what happened. So I
Yeah.
love doing the book. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think if I had the opportunity to see him do that, I would.
And
love
Howie would probably love to come on one of your shows. You got so many of them. He'd come on.
Hey, I wouldn't mind having an expert.
Why not? Howie loves to do shows like that. All right, let's look at week number 6 coming up in the NFL. Unbelievable. Is it 6 or 7?
7.
Week 7 in the NFL. And Tom, briefly, the NFL has been topsy-turvy. Oh, we got the 0-6 Jets. That's another story. They're pathetic to watch. And Jet fans are disgusted with everything with the new coach Glenn, and like the offense doesn't go 85 yards per game. That's ridiculously stupid. It's ludicrous to even talk like that. But then you got the big fellas that are falling down a bit. The Bills, and of course the Bengals sustaining injuries. We've seen the Eagles fall down, right? Yeah. So even the Chiefs, they're not as strong to be as they were. I could go down the list,
The
and
Chiefs
you look
are kind of getting in their stride, though.
and the Patriots are leading the NFC East.
AFC East, yes.
The AFC East, a team that's young, with a coach that comes from that stable, that knows defense and stuff, and got the young guys really playing for him. So the NFL going into week 7, very up and down.
Yeah.
Very up and down. Briefly, your thoughts.
Good parity in NFL, and that's what we want to see in the NFL. A lot of good teams, a lot of solid teams. Listen, if you would have told me, now I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. If you would have told me Seattle,
Rub it in. I'm a Cardinals fan. Rub it in.
but if you would have told me Seattle would have been 4-2 after 6 weeks and could have possibly been 6-0 because the 2 losses they could have very easily won, I'd have been like, get out of here. I had them maybe 2-4 the first 6 games. But listen, Seattle's played great. What surprised me about my Seahawks is that on the road in the last 2 years, 10-1 since last year, since the new coach McDonald has been a new coach. On the road, under 500. At home, under 500. Seattle's the home of the 12s. They always play great at home and not so good at home. So that's a big surprise.
My Packers have been meeting. The Cardinals have been meeting with the Packers coming up, and the Cardinals are hurting. Kyle Murray's hurt, the quarterback. Connor is out, one of their offensive attacks on the run. Also, I think what's his name? They received a wideout. Harrison is out too.
Is he out too? Oh wow, okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so they have the sustaining injuries, and of course they're losing. Because Rich Mancuso roots for them. They're losing. So and they're not going to beat the Packers either. The Packers would love continue to be a story in the NFL. Defense and Love is developing into this great quarterback, comes out of the pocket, can throw the ball. How about the Giants, though? How about changing the quarterback, Jason Dart's becoming the guy right now, and a guy named Scooble,
Scatterboy, I think.
Scatterboy,
Yeah.
who the the coach Dable wanted this guy.
Yeah.
He said get him in the draft, and boy, is it working out. It's saving his job. It's making Giant fans all of a sudden very optimistic again. Tom.
Yeah, I'm not a big Giants fan, but I thought the Giants would be pretty competitive this year. Some games I picked them to win and they lost, but they beat some good teams. They beat up on the Chargers, and then they beat on their rival Philadelphia in the game.
They beat the Eagles, and they got them again coming up next week. We'll see where that goes. Who do you like this week? Real brief, going down the matchups here, and some interesting one again. Packers Cardinals. That's a game I'm going to make. I have a very big interest in. Obviously, the Packers are 3-1-1. The Cardinals, of course, 2-4. The Cowboys 2-3-1 against the Commanders. That's another team all of a sudden. Even though they're 3-3, Tom, they're showing some struggles based off their last year.
They've been up and down, and that's a big game. That's a big division game.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys need that game. The Cowboys surprisingly been better than what I thought. They had a good game with the Packers in the game they should have won, and they ended up with a tie. The Packers have been kind of inconsistent as well. They lost to the Browns, struggle with the Cowboys. So you never know with this Packer team too. That's a very intriguing game. Cardinals and
there's definitely parity in the league this year, which is good for the NFL. How about the Buccaneers? Tampa Bay 5-1 Monday Night Football against the Lions 4-2. Another team, the Lions, all of a sudden golf and all that. They're not up to par, and yet the Buccaneers 5-1.
5-1, and I believe every game they played, with the exception of maybe last week, has been a one-score game. So, and the only loss they got was against the Eagles in the game they should have won. But the Buccaneers, credit to them, they closed out games. They should have lost to the Jets. The Jets should have won that game, and they came back. They beat the Jets in that game.
That was the Jets.
The Seahawks game. I don't want to talk about it, but I thought Seattle should have that game.
What is your Tom? Tom, you got a pick of the week?
Pick of the week this week. Wow, Seattle finally winning a game at home. They played Monday night against the Texans, so I'll be the homer and I'll take my home team.
Well,
not my home team, but my favorite team.
And I'll be rooting for the Cardinals, but my pick of the week is Packers over the Cardinals. Yeah, that's my pick of the week. Great brief NFL talk, Tom. And Anthony Robertson, the Yankee, got a mix of young and old. I don't hate it. I didn't. I don't know exactly what he means about that, but thanks for commenting, Anthony. Appreciate your support. This part of the program this week, this hour, Sports with Rich and Tom, which we're going to wrap up momentarily. We've been gaggling on since 8 p.m. live Eastern. I don't know how Tom gaggles on and on for 4 or 5 shows a week here on YouTube, but he does it because he's young and he's good. College basketball, NCAA, we're right here again. Get rid of that NFL logo. Let's just talk about this briefly. Tom, St. John's here in the New York area under Rick Pitino, who I don't care for particularly. Number 5 ranked by the AP. Duke, number 1 ranked. We're getting ready for college hoops again. My, has this year passed so fast. And the NBA starts up again next week.
Yeah.
NBC, the new contracts and stuff. Briefly, we'll do it more next week. Who do you like in the NBA? I really haven't studied it yet.
I don't watch NBA like I used to. I'm actually a Lakers fan. I know you probably didn't expect that. But I haven't watched basketball like I used to, even college basketball, because all the rule changes. And, you can't play defense anymore.
Right.
You can't touch anybody, and it's a foul. And it's just, I don't like the game. I like the game, when it was in, back in the day up to like the early 2000s. But after that, the game is kind of everybody's shooting threes now. And,
I think
It's not a game for me.
the buzz in the I don't like the three. That's what got me turned off. The dependency on that 3-point range, that shot, and too many go for it. And the NBA, frankly, to me, doesn't excite me no more. That's why it's one of the last on my totem pole.
But it's college basketball is still pretty fun.
I love it. I
look
love
forward
it.
to maybe
And then we
getting-
get to March Madness, and there's talk of expanding that, not this year, 64 teams to maybe 72 or more year after. Briefly, the MLS, Decision Day Saturday, the New York area interest, NYCFC in the Eastern Conference ranked 5th. They might get a home game, which means that in their favor instead of would be 2 out of 3 in the format instead of a wild card where boom you're out. But they're sitting good. They got to be a good Seattle Sounders team on Saturday at Yankee Stadium. Miami and the great Messi favored to win it all. Out of the East again. So Messi, of course, the Golden Boot winner, most goals in MLS. Tom, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I think this was a good show. We did, we covered pretty much everything. I'll cover a little bit more tomorrow with the NFL as we've been doing our picks. I had a good week last week.
What show is that? What show is that?
We'll do a Friday night sports talk. We'll do boxing and football. But we do our NFL picks every week.
All right, and then I'll see you Saturday night at ringside, Barclays Center, Brooklyn. Farewell to Brooklyn for Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely. We're gonna have a good time there. A lot of good fights. We should be entertained. And shout out to my man Keith Tsunami Cologne. That's our guy. He's the hometown. He's the home fighter, right? The
hometown guy.
House fighter. He's the house fighter.
Newark, New Jersey.
He's out of Newark, New Jersey, but he's our house fighter.
It'd be good to see Keith. Be good to see you face to face finally again. And to everyone out there, thank you for watching. Keep it in the ring the first hour here. Also that followed immediately afterwards. Sports with Rich and Tom. Thank Howie Karpin for coming on and joining us. Thank you for watching and your comments. And next week we'll hopefully have a new format with the format with the new opening and a lot of different things. We're still working on it here. It might even be on Friday night. Just set your social media, Tom's social media in mind. I'm at Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, X, Ring786 on Instagram as well. Read my content on Latinosports.com, one of the many I write for. Tom, any final thoughts again?
No, I'm just waiting. I can't wait for Saturday night, to be there in the bar.
All right.
Get some good boxing.
I'll see you there.
In a couple months.
All right.
In New York, so.
All right. We won't say keep it in the ring because that's not what this is. But Sports with Rich and Tom for now this week live. YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Please do that. Also, Facebook page. And Tommy D's social media as well and all his channels. Tom, I'll look for you. Good having you again, my esteemed colleague and host. This has been great. Until next week, everyone. Not keep it in the ring this time, but we got to come up with a closing for this time. What is it?
I don't even know what to say. Until next week.
Hit a home run.
Hit a home run.
There you go, a grand slam.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Either way, stay in touch. I'm Rich Mancuso. That's Tommy D. Till next week.
Take care, everybody.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.